Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Kit Conspiracy. This is actually a bonus layout. It is not our regularly scheduled day, but if you recall at the beginning when I shared this particular kit, there was an additional package of paper that I had no idea that was in the kit because I had stuck it with the next week's kit. So this is a layout using some of those papers from Paper Rose's Textures. I think it's 1.0. Anyway, all of that information is in the kit share for this week. So I decided I better get some of that paper used up since it is actually supposed to be part of this kit. So I decided to do a double page layout and do some layers because, that's going to use up some paper quick. And actually, I thought it would be really good because I really like this wood grain with these photos that I have. We went to a brunch on my daughter and my son-in-law's 5th wedding anniversary. I offered to watch Noah so that they could go out on their own, and they said they wanted to just have it a family day, and they included us and my son and his girlfriend. So our whole family went out to breakfast, and we just went to Black Bear Diner. It's kid-friendly, and food's pretty good. And anyway, that's where we went. So I've got pictures of the two of them together. I've got the two of them with Noah, and then I've got some of me and Noah, some with my husband, my son, his girlfriend, the whole group basically. And so I thought I would go ahead and scrapbook those. Now, admittedly, there is quite a bit of green in these photos, and there isn't any green in my background paper, but I am going to take care of that with some I'm just going to add in some pieces here and there that are going to bring that green out. So I'm starting out with what I thought I would do was that wood grain at the very bottom, and then I would do the blue on the top, but I'm going to switch that around so the blue wood grain is at the bottom, and I'm going to pull in the notorious basket weave to the top. And so I like the way that that's looking. I like it with the white burlap layer in between because it lightens it up a bit. These two papers, or technically it's 4 papers, but these 2 patterns are awfully dark. So, but they do match like the wood color in the photos. So they match perfectly, but they are on the darker side. So I thought I'll just bring in that white burlap to kind of lighten things up. But then I want the photos to be on top of the papers that have kind of that goldish brown rustic look, because that's what matches the photos the best. I want to use up a lot of my paper. I don't want to use all of it. So I am gutting that white burlap and this blue wood grain because I don't really need all of the stuff that is going to be covered up. So I basically cut like a 2-inch L shape out of the white burlap, and then the blue one is I think a 3.5 inch, so that I have plenty of room to adhere things. I'm not going to be short on paper, and it's going to have plenty of stability underneath it, but I also still can keep a chunk of each one of those for future layouts. Now I do realize I am not going to get this entire kit used up within a week because of this additional paper pack that I kind of found a little bit late in the game. And so this might just be the only layout that I do with using this paper pack, but you're going to see 3 of the papers used here. So at least you get something. I apologize for that. I may come back and try and use more of it towards the end of the month or as we move on. But I do have next week's layouts already filmed, and there's not going to be a day in there that I can use any of this because I think I have a layout for every day using the other kit. So using next week's kit. So little spoiler alert there's going to be quite a few layouts for you. So I am inking up everything with black soot distress ink just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. And I realize that sounds weird because it's on a black or on a darker color, but I don't know. I just felt like it gives it a little bit more of a solid edge to that white, whereas the paper below it has like blues and browns, lights and darks, and this kind of makes it all uniform. So I'm doing the same thing with the burlap as well, even though it is dark. When you cut into it though, sometimes that I think this has a little bit of a white core to it, if I remember correctly. And I want to make sure that it stays dark on the edges. I don't want that white showing. So I'm liking the way that that's looking. I just take it over to my trimmer and I cut it off so that it stays in a 12 by 12. And it's pretty easy to do that because you can line up the straight edge from the blue wood grain and then just hack off the rest basically. Anything that is over the edge. Now I do still have a little bit of this wheel and gear paper, and so I'm going to pull that in so that it just kind of brings in more from the rest of my kit, and I'm using up just a little bit more. Although this layout doesn't really have anything to do with spokes, it doesn't have anything to do with wheels or gears or anything else. But I also liked that it has kind of like that bluish gray wheels on it, so it brings that kind of blue from the very background paper up to the foreground. And it also has like the orangey brown, which keeps it nice and warm, but it also brings in the light color. So it kind of just ties all of those colors together. And that's one thing that I really liked about it. So I did cut fishtails into all of those, and I did that by just cutting down the center a little bit and then going from the corner to the center with my scissors. I think it's actually easier to like fold it in half and cut it that way, but I don't like that it leaves kind of a fold mark in the middle. So I try not to do it that way, even though it's a little bit easier. And then here I am, I'm going to pull out some green papers from my scrap bin, and I'm just trying to find some greens that I think will work well with the photos that have all of the green in them. And I know I want to pull in some little border strips to kind of tuck in here and there to kind of bring out that color. So I feel like my layout's looking pretty good, but it kind of feels flat to me because everything is brown, white, and blue. So that is another reason for me to pop in the green. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It just does. It looks like something's missing. So what I'm going to pull out is my scallop punch, and it is from X-Cut. I think they're still available. I found mine. A friend of mine found it for me when she had her online store. But several months back, I found one on Amazon for another scrapbooking friend of mine. So I think they're still available. I couldn't swear to it, but it is from X-Cut or Do Crafts. I think that's the same company. I think Do Crafts or X-Cut owns Do Crafts. One way or the other. One of them owns the other one. I don't know. But it is a large scallop, and it's my favorite punch besides my notebook edger. So I am using the offcuts. So it's the indentation of the scallop. And then I am also using the opposite edge that actually has the scallop bumps. And I am just putting them, the indentation ones going vertically and the other ones going horizontally. And that keeps me from wasting any paper because that little strip right there would have gone in the trash otherwise. And I don't really want to put it in the trash because it's definitely useful and it just brings in that color, and I think it looks nice. So I'm going to ink up all of those edges again with Black Soot Distress ink. And again, I'm just fishtailing that over again because I cut too far into it, and so I just wanted to trim it off so there wasn't a cut down the center. So that's why I just trimmed that a second time. So I'm using my liquid glue. I'm going to tuck these under, and I'm going to let them hang off the edge so that I can just snip it off. I don't have to measure that way. You know, I do like to measure a lot of things and keep things straight, especially when I'm doing grids and such. I like to line things up with my T-square ruler, but in this case, I don't really feel like I need to because I can kind of eyeball it. But I don't have to figure out a measurement in advance by doing it this way. I'm just going to use my scissors at the end of it and snip it off. Those little pieces could be useful somewhere, but I don't end up using them. So the strips that I had for the with the fishtails, I am going to run those through my tangerine machine. That's from Tonic. And it is a beast of a machine, but it does a great job of cutting. So it's just like a Big Shot or a Cuttlebug, but it takes a wider plate, so you can put wider papers in there. And I am using a Sizzix Texture Fades by Tim Holtz, and this particular one is called Botanical. And so what you do is you only use the bottom plate of your machine. You don't use the top plate. And when you put your paper in the texture fades, if you do a fine misting of water over it, it really helps your paper not to rip, because those are really deep indentations. So just a fine mist of water, and then run it through the machine and let it dry. And your paper will react much better to it. And then once that was done, I just took my same Distress ink applicator, and I ran it over the top to kind of bring out the pattern that I had cut, or I had embossed in onto that paper. Much like, when you used to write on a notepad when you were a kid, and then take the paper off and you used a pencil on its side and see what the secret message was. Much like that, but in reverse. I just want that pattern to show up a bit more. And so I'm going to do the same on the opposite side, rather than trying to figure out, or trying to get everything placed exactly again, and pick up the layers and put my tape gun on there. I just stick my liquid adhesive under there and give it a little bit of liquid adhesive. It holds it in place, and I don't have to worry about trying to get everything placed exactly where I want it, and then having to pick it up again when there's adhesive all over it because I've misplaced it. Hopefully that just made sense. I'm voicing this and I'm a little bit tired, so my apologies if I am not really saying things coherently. So you see there is a little white piece missing there. I didn't think that was going to show up, but then I realized a little tiny bit of it will, because it doesn't go all the way to the center. So I had this extra little piece. I'm just going to snip a little bit off, and I will tuck it under just to bridge the gap. Nobody's ever going to know. The seam is underneath the photos, so it's not a big deal. Even if the seam wasn't under the photos, I could line them up well enough that it wouldn't make a big difference anyway. So I'm trying to get the photos in some semblance of order. So I know there are the ones with us ordering, or with the menus in our hands, are going to be on the left-hand page. The ones with the food are on the right-hand page. If you're wondering what Noah is holding in his hands on the upper right-hand photo, that is a biscuit. And yes, it is as big as his head. And so we definitely got a picture of that, and he definitely wanted to eat it. So he had a couple of bites of it, and it was too big, obviously. So we just thought those were fun photos, And then there's a couple of me hugging him in the bottom right-hand side. And then I am going to pull out some alphabet dies, and I will put links down below for all of these products that I am using. And as you noticed on the FTA disclaimer that was at the beginning of the video, I do get a bit of a commission off of if you use the links that I provide you. You can shop for anything you want. You don't have to shop specifically for these items, but if you use the link to get there, I do get a little bit of a commission. And so I do appreciate the anytime you're able to do that. That really does help me out a bit. And I know that there have been a few people that have done that already. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. I didn't want to hijack this to make it a sales pitch or anything, but I did want to say thank you to the people who have already done that, and I appreciate it. So I did run those again through I ran these through the Sidekick. I did not pull out the Tangerine machine. Again, like I said, it is a beast. The thing weighs 21 pounds, which is quite a bit heavier than the Big Shot. And I do still have a Big Shot, but my Big Shot is at my mom's house because it's a little easier for her to handle. And so I have the Tangerine machine here, which works fine. So then I went to my Silhouette machine, and I cut out the word diner in this scripty font that kind of leans to the right. And I really do like the idea of having that scripty font over a big bold font. And I like it best when it does lean to the right, and then when it is like a fine script, because you can still read both words. It doesn't look like you can see the word diner very well, but in the close-up shots, you'll be able to see it much easier than what it shows on this screen. So that's something that I really enjoy. I do enjoy titles that are different or long or have unique ways of being displayed. So that's always interesting to me. Now, it doesn't mean I always do it, but I do love them. So then I went through my embellishments and I pulled out some stuff from, let's see, we've got Pink Fresh Studio. I've got some Jen Hadfield. I think a little bit of Paige Evans. And so I just pulled out things that kind of reminded me of diners. Now, that I did pull in a couple of florals there, but I also pulled in some teacups. There are the cups on the hooks right above the title. There's also going to be a little teacup in each of those floral clusters. A tag to write something on. Now, the black ones that say Family Time and Love Your Smile, those are both from the Kaiser Craft Workshop sticker book or sticker sheet, one or the other. And so I was happy to get those used up. I kept trying to get that birdcage on there. It doesn't work, so it's not going to make the grade. I pulled in a couple of butterflies, just thought those kind of looked nice to bring in a soft element. And so I am going to pop some of these things up onto some foam tape. It's just the cheap foam tape from Walmart. It is adhesive on one side, and then I just use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere it on the opposite side. And the Nuvo glue is my favorite wet glue. It dries really quick and it goes on really fine, so it's great for cut files as well. And it holds very well. The dry time is pretty quick, like I said, and it dries matte and clear. So if you have anything that squishes out on the edges, it's really difficult to even see it on your page, if you can see it at all. So I did pop the butterfly wings up to give them just a little bit of added dimension. Same with the leaves on the florals there. I add a little bit of foam just to give a little bit of dimension to the leaves. That postage stamp, I think that's from Maggie Holmes. I'm not sure which collection. I could probably tell you if I had it here. Nope, I can't tell you. It's a Maggie Holmes though. Just trying to use up stickers out of these sticker sheets before I dismantle them and sort them into my bins of color items. So I'm pretty happy with the way that this is looking. I don't know if MK is going to have a video today. Like I said, this is a bonus video, but we will both have videos tomorrow for you. So be sure to come back and check out both of our channels tomorrow. I hope you are still enjoying this series, and I'm really looking forward to next week because I've got those layouts done for you and I'm pretty excited about them. I do like these two little pieces. One says Happy Family, one says Happy Day. And it definitely was a really nice day to be able to go, the whole group of us together to eat. We haven't done that in, I can't even tell you how long, especially with COVID, but we don't do it very often anyway. So it's been really nice. Here's another sticker that I'm pulling from the Kaiser Craft sticker book. And it says, when we have each other, we have it all. And I thought that was just a really nice sentiment. And there's another little teacup. I am going to tuck that little guy in to the bottom right hand side. And I really like the way that that's looking. Now I know that there's not a lot of that paper with the spokes and wheels and gears showing, but enough of it shows that it brings those colors all to the forefront. I am adding a little gold Heidi Swap color shine. I don't have a whole lot of it left, but I kind of sometimes go back and forth between that and my Liquitex acrylic ink. They both work very well, and I'm happy with either one of them. So in this case, I just grabbed the Heidi Swap stuff because that's what I had handy. I am going to do my journaling here with my Muji pen in navy blue. It's a 0.5 Muji, M-U-J-I. My favorite journaling pens are the Muji pens, and I like them in a 0.38 or a 0.5. So I, again, will put those links down below for anything that I can find the link for, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today. If you enjoyed it, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. And thank you for choosing to watch my video today. I know you have a lot of options out there, and I'm honored that you chose mine. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.